Welcome to Game Devs Play Games, where you can watch games and practice game design, and we are here with more Bannerman.
Bannerman. Cool.
Here's
a Bannerman.
Bannerman. There's only one of us.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, for now.
Oh, dang!
I'm gonna pick up this helmet. No visual difference, but look, there's a little blue thing down there.
Which, I mean, it's pretty safe to assume how this is gonna work. It's really not surprising. It takes a hit or two depending on the type of hit, and then
it's a different type of temporary health.
Well, because
it functions different with how you get attacked.
It's the only thing that can be recoverable during that day. Once you lose health, you will not get it back until you rest it. It can't.
Yeah, until the next day, which is basically like saying a chapter.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas armor.
So I took that hit, but I haven't lost that full blue dot.
So armor, when you lose it, you do forever lose it. But you can repair armor at a blacksmith if you find one. But you can only ever wear so much armor anyway. So
probably should stop screwing around, because I just totally lost all my armor.
Yep. Like a garbage person.
I really am screwing around. I mean... oh, look.
But now we find a suit of chainmail, and boom!
I will say, I do not care for the look of the suit of chainmail.
That's just like...
It looks a little, for everything else that has so much detail put into it, I felt like the chainmail was a little lacking. There.
Well,
See,
okay.
That's what a fight could look like.
For what it's worth, chainmail and pixel art do not get along.
True.
I mean, you could do it and make it look pretty good, but
it'd be a lot of work.
It's more work than that's probably worth, and with the aesthetic of the game, it'd be even more difficult.
That's true. Because
they use a lot of like hard... like dark lines to define things, and with chainmail you'd have to do that.
Make it, that
it's tough, man.
They would have to pull some weird shading thing, which they're very, very good at doing, and we can talk about the shading mechanic during combat and stuff like that as a not only aesthetic but how they portray the information to the player. We'll get into that in this episode, but anyway.
Stow that weapon. Want me no more trouble here.
Okay.
Like, you're kooky, old man. That's probably why you're still here after the battle.
Soldiers!
They arrived after the battle. Seemed decent enough. To be honest, we were quite grateful for the protection.
That's our people. Our people are good. They protect.
Yeah. Then the other lot arrived. Our village quickly became a battlefield.
Oh, the bad people.
They're still going at it on the outskirts.
Fighting. Can you repair my armor?
And ooh! Here! Job's done. Leave us in peace.
Can you repair my armor?
Can't fix what ain't broke. Turn it if it takes a knock or two. It's kind of a fun way to describe how many hits an armor can kind of take. What do you want from me?
What are you doing?
I'm going about my own business. Why don't you try doing the same? Don't talk to me about those fools. The soldiers that you asked about but didn't read out loud.
Yep.
If you have any sense, you'll get them to move on.
Sure are homely, aren't you?
Wow. Wow. Whoa.
Okay, and also the reason I chose that word is for the time. It was a good time. It was a good time.
God damn.
What? She was mean first, all right? My dearest Kaylin, I apologize if this letter will be brief. All able men are being called to the banner. I do not know when I will next be able to write. Please, give me my love to your family. Yours, Martin.
I wonder if we'll ever meet Martin.
I don't know, but that's Kaylin, by the way, that woman back there. I only know because I have the Steam card for her.
I think I do too, actually. Damage page from the combat manual.
I love that picture. This is kind of what I meant by the medieval style drawings.
Oh yeah. When your enemy wears upon his body a coat of steel, do not persist with slashing weakly upon his armor. Seek to muster your full strength. Bring your weapon down upon him. Heavy attacks will expose his weakness. And then you may bring about his ruin. I like how they kind of talk in like, ooh, medieval tutorial, and then they're like, just hit him hard. It kills his armor.
Just do the heavy thing.
Fancy seeing you here.
How did you wind up here?
After you fell, the flanks buckled in the main line. I lost my way in the route, found these boys. Been here since.
Crowley isn't happy.
Crowley lives? I'll make my way to him. Not sure if these boys will follow suit. Better talk to the captain.
I better keep moving.
All right, I'll meet up with you later.
Okay.
Well, good talk.
What's up?
This guy. Outstanding. Now, give me room to breathe, boys.
What's happening here?
If it isn't the Banner Boy. Well, Randall has left a few of his best and brightest around Walmslaton.
Walmslaton. Got it.
Don't you worry, my boys will clean them up.
Crowley's mentioned. Oh, guess I could just walk past him.
Well, that's fantastic, but I'm afraid we're right in the middle of something here. These little bastards keep popping out from nowhere. We're keeping the peace.
I like to think he's insane. He's like, these little bastards. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Oh my.
What did he just eat? All right, so.
Well, I know what the right answer is.
I do too. But I also know what the recourse for the right answer is. So I want to see what the other answer gets us. All right, so basically, these sound very similar.
Well, I mean, they're speaking with different realms of authority. One is saying like, well, this is the captain's orders and we will do as the captain says. And the other one is like
pleading almost.
It's like, listen, we cannot do this without this. Like, be real.
Yeah. So, here's a direct order from Crowley.
Look, we're doing a damn good thing here, protecting the simple folk from these animals. We're not going to leave them unprotected just to spend another month sitting around in camp. I'll lend Crowley a handful of men, but that's all he's getting. The rest of us are staying here and doing our duty. End of chat. End of line.
End of chat. What did you just do? Handful of men. Here you go.
So I don't know what the tangible effect of this is.
I mean, there might not be one. There might be only a narrative one. Okay.
But if we choose the other option, he does send his men. Like
he's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Like, and it's a weird thing too. He's just like, yeah, we waited, but now we're gonna attack him. Good plan. You're like, all right, cool, man.
Well, it's because he doesn't understand that he's actually sending people after the dude.
Oh, yeah, right.
His response to this is what the captain said. He's like, they're done sitting around because you literally just came from a camp that was sitting around forever.
Yeah.
So they have that reputation. So it has context for that response. So if you're paying attention, then the answer is pretty obvious.
So this was not apparently in the original release. Apparently there's an update like the day after the game came out, and they added these shortcuts in.
Wow, really?
Which it seems like it was very purposeful right now.
It does.
But later in certain later levels, you start looking at it and going, this feels weird. Like a little out of place.
That's
our
kind
first
of
real
fair.
challenge. Oh, and he has a point of armor. I noticed.
I mean, like, later on, when I encountered that, it did seem kind of like out of the way.
So heavy hits will get rid of the armor in one hit.
And this will kind of be the bulk of I think there's one thing that makes the shortcuts actually still make sense, even if it wasn't a planned feature. And that's that you don't carry armor or special weapons in between days.
Yes.
So
we could have found out that later. You didn't have to spoil it for him, Chris.
Yeah, well, the reason I bring it up is because there are in the next day. Yeah, well, that's because you picked up the same armor that you were already wearing. I think if you picked up Greaves, if that even exists, then it might.
I think that you are actually limited to 3, and I only think that because of a ability you pick up later in the game. All right, here we go. So here's learn how to dodge.
Yeah, so this is normally where we would pick up the ability to dodge. Oh. Wow, you're doing good. That's really hard to do.
Yeah, I made that look way easier. I'm going to be really honest. That is the most frustrating part in this game is dodging arrows.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense, right? Like, dodging arrows in real life would also be incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But game mechanics-wise, so the reason I think it's not the worst thing that arrows are difficult to dodge is because...
big guy, shirtless guy. Hurrah.
The arrows don't deal a ton of damage, and I think that's its justification. You can keep fighting after getting shot with a lot of arrows. Also, I love the music for this fight.
Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, so the shortcuts.
Boom.
Nice. Wow, you did good.
I told you I got good.
You got better than me,
got
man.
good.
I would definitely...
Do we want to switch to you so you can die? So we can show them what it means to die?
No, let's just stick with you. It's fine. It's fine. You're generally better at fighting games anyway. So this is the end of a day. And now we're going to lose all of our armor, which...
Shout out to Shovel Knight fans.
Yeah, right? I mean, I don't think that's what they were going for with this, but, you know...
Sitting around a bonfire is what they're going for. Dark Souls.
I think it's more of like passing the night, which you would have your own...
It's a good scene. One lone traveler sitting around a campfire by themselves. No, it makes sense.
It's poetic.
It is. Was it? Oh, what?
It was still had him highlighted, but I agree. It should have changed based on the direction you were facing. I've had this issue before. It's a minor thing, but...
Oh, well, I probably shouldn't... I was just going to skip through so I could reread it. He said, I don't know what Crowley's thinking chasing down the banner. It's not like they're just going to give it to us. Basically, we'll find out from Crowley in a second, because I accidentally walked past. But the plan is to go get the banner back from Crowley. And this is a little weird, because basically, in the fight, they just beat the crap out of your guy, took the banner, and then just left. And they're like, we won! We got the banner. That's not how a real fight goes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a war, or like a battle like that would have been like, you steal the banner, and then because of that, morale drops, and then you crush your opponents because of that.
I think that's the point of running away with the banner, is that it's not something that's just replaceable. Like in this world, whether or not this was actually like historically accurate, I don't know. But the banner is not something that can just be replaced. So them running around with it is like, look at who we defeated. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo.
Yeah.
So it's a constant decrease of morale against them, because it's their war prize.
Yeah.
It's like having the head of your enemy and being like, look at what we killed.
We're going to go... my argument is, we're going to go get back the banner. Why don't you just go beat them?
I mean, it might honestly just be easier to get back the banner than it is to beat them.
How are you doing?
I'm just fine. Hey, at least this beats sitting around camp, yeah?
Are you familiar with the Durand Forest?
Trade caravans used to frequent the path, carrying grain from Walmsing.
We went over this.
Walmslading to the north.
We repeated it together, Chris.
You repeated it to yourself,
Fine,
and also it'll never be enough. The river narrows here. It's quicker to move on foot than by barge. Not a trader's favorite route.
Better get moving.
Careful in there.
Okay, let's go back and actually talk to the guy. How are we doing on time?
We have 2 minutes left.
Cool. Let's talk to Crowley.
A handful of my infantry have returned. Let's hope that they are enough. Randall continues to follow the river north.
What are your orders?
We approach Durand Forest, the perfect location for an ambush.
Good. They'll never see it coming.
Without knowledge of what lies in wait, I will not risk the bulk of my forces. You will scout the path ahead. Alone. In code.
What are we to do?
Randall's troops have 1 day's march on us. We do not have the forces needed to challenge his men in open battle. We will stay on his trail and follow until an opportunity presents itself. Which you kind of just... Yes. Now on with you.
So, Crowley is a lord, and that's why he is super clad in armor, and that's kind of awesome. If you notice, most of the people we fought are not super clad in armor, because armor was stupid expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid expensive.
He's also super pretentious, which kind of adds to the lord's...
Perfect.
Like,
you could look at him and be like, does he even know how to use his sword? Maybe not. He might not actually know how to do it. He doesn't need to.
I do like, though, that they kind of set him up to sort of be a detestable character.
Yeah, he's clearly a dick.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's like, I think if they present the opportunity to betray him, it would make sense to betray him, or it would make sense to stay loyal. They set it up with that character alone to have mixed feelings.
Oh, absolutely. When you go into the town, the Walmslayton, when you go into town, yeah, that's right. The guy is clearly like, we're protecting these people. Like Randall's men are attacking these people. We're saving them right now. Otherwise, we would just be sitting on the field doing nothing.
Yeah.
And so,
whereas like this lord is just like,
I don't care. Bring my men back.
yeah, like I don't care. We're going to go hunt him down because he took my banner and I want my banner. I'm glad you feel the same way.
Yeah.
But like that's how it was, right? Like you either obey your lord or you turn coat and then you probably die.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because nobody else is gonna trust you either. You betray one lord, you're gonna betray all of them.
Yeah.
Just how things work.
There was no like, you're not allowed to be on the in between.
No.
Because if you're not with them, then you just die.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you had to choose sides. Otherwise, you were just a helpless village or person by yourself on a road, and sure, you're just
and then you're still not trustworthy. Yeah. They're like,
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool. Well, we just hit day 2. Question of the day.
Question of the day.
We got to see some combat.
Yeah.
So, I guess how do you feel about the armor mechanic? As I said before, you need to use a heavy attack to break down armor 1 hit. Otherwise, you're gonna have to crack at that armor for I think 3 hits before you break it.
So maybe how does the armor mechanic create a more complex combat system?
Yes. Also should be mentioned, because we didn't actually get to experience it, if you have no armor, a heavy hit still does 1 point of damage, while a light hit also does 1 point of damage. And that's important to note, because it's just not all around more powerful. It's only good in specific circumstance. So,
yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, so answer the question. I just gave details. Yes, question.
Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed the video, give it that thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.